Isn't that a great piece of music? How many of you recognized it? Maybe could have even identified it. Good, good. Of course, Raiders March from Raiders of the Lost Ark, a 1981 film. Of course, the score by the genius John Williams, great American composer. The movie, of course, features the jungle and adventure archaeologist Indiana Jones, played by actor Harrison Ford. Williams' score could make anyone feel like searching through booby-trapped tombs for valuable relics. How did it make you feel? Adventurous? Brave? Invincible? Heroic? You know, listening to music like this makes you want to go out and buy a cape and save the world, don't you think, from certain doom? You know, music can give voice to every possible human emotion, from joy to sorrow. Take, for instance, the father of the symphony, Franz Joseph Haydn. His nickname was Papa Haydn. He was an Austrian composer who lived around the same time as George Washington. He found great success all over Europe. He traveled a great deal during the French Revolutionary Wars, and as he toured, he encountered skirmishes being fought by Napoleon's armies. Even with all of his travels, Haydn had time to write immense amounts of music, over 800 compositions, including operas, trios, quartets, concertos, and many symphonies. Papa Haydn's last symphony is number 104. It's entitled the London Symphony, which was named for the city where it was composed. At the time, London was the largest city in Europe, and the second largest in the world. The music is energetic, exciting, and enthusiastic, just like the city itself. Enjoy now the fourth movement finale from Haydn's London Symphony. You have seen the movie Jaws. It just ran a bunch on TV over those snow days that we had, so I'm sure some of you saw it even then. It's a 1975 film by Steven Spielberg about a massive great white shark that terrorizes the residents of a small seaside town. You can't deny the emotional response of this music. You know, even without knowing the story of Jaws, it's clear from the soundtrack that that something scary and dangerous is about to happen. The question is, when? Take a listen to this Academy Award-winning film score masterpiece, once again, by composer John Williams. Very moving, as to say, and certainly sets the mood for what's about to take place with that great white shark. Okay, well, let's pretend for just a moment that you were of royal lineage, and that one day you would be in line to be king or queen of England. Well, at the point in your life when you decided to marry, what sort of music do you suppose you would choose to portray how you felt on your wedding day? Well, you would certainly want something beautiful, almost maybe magical. Ralph Vaughan Williams was an English composer known for his use of folk melodies as the basis for his beautifully lyrical pieces. His prelude entitled Rosamunda is a perfect example of music that depicts a feeling of serenity and calm. It's named for a little village in Wales and based on a Welsh folk song. You might be interested to know, by the way, that this particular piece of music was selected by a couple who might one day become the King and Queen of England. You see, it was selected for the 2011 royal wedding of William, Duke of Cambridge, to Kate Middleton. contrast the feeling of that piece to, like, say, the Jaws piece we just heard earlier. Quite a different mood, for sure. Well, you know, but when we're in a kind of a calm, relaxed mood, it's easier to laugh. Have you ever noticed how many pieces of classical music are used in cartoon soundtracks? This next piece is the finale from Jacques Offenbach's Ballet Parisian No. 5. I think it will be familiar to you. Maybe you've heard it on an old Tom and Jerry cartoon, or maybe it was Bugs Bunny or something like that. But either way, we think you'll find it to be rather funny as you kind of envision someone slipping on a banana peel. Well, anyway, we guarantee that you're going to be smiling by the end of this piece. Well, listen, the most famous romantic love story of all time. Are you ready for this? Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. You know the story. Boy meets girl, they fall in love, and then guess what? They find out their families have been sworn enemies for generations. In addition to the famous play by Shakespeare, this story has been used as the basis for several forms of music, including a ballet and a symphonic poem. The musical piece you're about to hear was composed in 1880 by Russian composer Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky. Now, if you listen carefully to the music, you can actually hear the action that's going to be going on. The orchestra will be performing 3 sections of the piece. We're going to start with the street fight. Let me set the scene. Romeo is challenged to a duel by Juliet's cousin, and the ensuing fight turns into a brawl between the entire extended families. Now listen to the sections of the orchestra, how they engage in musical battle with their instruments. Not necessarily physically, we're talking here, but musically. You'll be able to hear the clash of swords. You'll be able to experience the irregular rhythms of the emotional fight between sworn lifelong enemies. And you'll be able to feel the angry intensity of a blood feud. Juliet's attraction to one another is undeniable. And regardless of the conflict between their families, clandestine meetings, secret oaths, meddling priests, Romeo and Juliet are indeed star-crossed lovers. Now listen to this next section as the soaring strings express the longing of these two to one day be together. Beautiful love scene, needless to say. Well, we're back to the conflict, and it escalates, needless to say, as Romeo fatally wounds Juliet's kinsman, Tybalt. He goes to Juliet, and we hear the love theme soaring over the same forceful rhythms that depicted the fight scene earlier. Now, trust me, their lives are complicated, much more so than yours or mine. I think you'll agree that the music here clearly helps us feel the tension that can exist between these warring factions. There our story ends, Romeo and Juliet. And I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't already know, but the ending is not very happy. Romeo and Juliet, of course, both died in one of the saddest scenes ever written. You know, sadness is an emotion that we all feel at some point in our lives, and that's okay. It's rather normal to feel those things. But you know, one of the great things about music is that it can help you walk through a sad time in your life when you may have lost someone very close to you. Edward Grieg's Peer Gynt Suite is a good example of a piece of music that does just that. You see, Grieg, a Norwegian composer, wrote Peer Gynt as the incidental music for a very well-known and nationalistic play by Henrik Ibsen. This particular musical excerpt expresses Pier's sorrow upon the death of his mother, Asa.